Was Islamophobia a factor in Omar Khadr's story? We know detainees faced Islamophobia at Guantanamo Bay, where the Quran was reportedly mistreated and Islamic beliefs were ridiculed, and yet liberal and conservative Canadian governments left a Muslim citizen there. It's important to remember the context. Islamophobia has been stewing in the dark corners of the internet, where anonymous alt-right activists still rage against Khadr. There is a sizable contingent of Islamophobic voters that some politicians have been only too happy to whip up into a frenzy. Canadian security forces have targeted Muslims before, and not all Muslims have been able to count on Canadian authorities to enforce the rule of law. Recall as well that when non-Muslim Canadian Brendan Martin was imprisoned in Mexico, Canada immediately went into diplomatic hyperdrive to get her out. In that context, is it so difficult to believe that Islamophobia played some role in Khadr's ordeal? The question can be put another way. If he had been a white Christian with an Anglo-Saxon name, would his government have been complicit in his years of captivity? Without a fair trial, would they have ignored his age and the allegations of torture and conducted a relentless campaign to keep him behind bars? Would there have been intense public anger at attempts at restitution? Maybe. The specter of terrorism provokes strong feelings. Asked to comment on whether they believe Islamophobia played a role in Omar Khadr's case, the prominent Muslims interviewed for this book typically responded with a long pause, and then a cautious, non-committal answer. It's clear they have considered the question before, but haven't come to a definitive answer. Many believe that the public's justifiable anger at terrorists would make a cool, level-headed analysis of the rule of law difficult, regardless of the skin color or religious beliefs of the individual in question. Simultaneously, they acknowledge that Khadr's religion, at a minimum, made him an easier target, and made it easier for people to believe he was a terrorist who got what he deserved. Popular conceptions of terrorism and Islam have become so linked that it's difficult to isolate the source of the public antipathy. It's not an easy question, and there's likely more than one fair answer, but one thing is certain. It's a fair question to ask.